breathtaking views and unforgettable architecture, world-class museums and galleries, one of Britain's most memorable castles, all in the capital city, full of culture and heritage. We're taking a break in Edinburgh and the Lothians.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Britain's Best Breaks with me, Amy Garcia. This is the show that helps you to make all the right decisions when choosing a break. And today we're going to be exploring Edinburgh and the Lothians. Edinburgh is one of Britain's most exceptional cities, and we'll be starting with its most famous monument, Edinburgh Castle. After that, we'll take in the sights of the city's Old Town, starting with a journey down Edinburgh's historical high street, the Royal Mile. Later on in the show, we'll be taking you to the Queen's marvellous Holyrood Palace, and also to Edinburgh's vibrant New Town. A visit to these parts wouldn't be complete without taking in the Lothians, where we'll have the chance to visit the exciting Scottish Seabird Centre. So just sit back, enjoy, maybe have a Scottish tipple to get you into the mood, as we show you some of the best places to eat, stay and visit. Let's get started. Edinburgh was once described by Robert Louis Stevenson as what Paris ought to be. Admittedly, the Scottish novelist's statement is not without a little bias, but it's not without weight either. This glorious capital city is easily placed in the upper echelons of great international cities. Edinburgh is Scotland's second largest city and home to just under 500,000 people. It was one of the major centres of the Enlightenment in the 18th century and the proud home of the philosopher David Hume. The centre of Edinburgh has two key districts, known as the Old Town and New Town. The Old Town is the medieval heart of the city, dating back to the Reformation. Full of winding streets, the district is dominated by the castle perched in its rocky crag. And the New Town was the 18th century's answer to overcrowding in the Old Town. It was the first purposely built new town in Europe. It's a beautiful area full of memorable Georgian architecture. Both the Old Town and New Town districts are official World Heritage Sites, with over 4,500 listed buildings in these areas. Edinburgh is also home to numerous world-class festivals, like the Edinburgh Fringe, the largest performing arts festival in the world. Edinburgh is a class act, stunning, vibrant, cosmopolitan. It makes for a perfect break. Just ask anyone who's been here. Magnificent, dramatic, historic. Just a few words that describe this, Edinburgh Castle. Built on ancient volcanic rock, the castle towers 260 feet above the city of Edinburgh. Don't be fooled by its appearance though, this is no fairy tale castle. You might be able to walk through the front doors nowadays, but it wasn't always like that. You'd have needed much more than a ticket back then. You would have had to mean serious business if you wanted to successfully attack this mighty fortress. The castle has dominated the skyline here for almost 1,000 years. The battlements boast glorious panoramic views. On a clear day, you can see all the way to the mountains in the Kingdom of Fife. It's the most visited tourist attraction in Britain outside of London, with well over 1 million visitors every year. You have to come up here. This is the 1 o'clock gun. It sounds across the city at exactly 1 every day. It's a clear reminder of the castle's turbulent past. Edinburgh Castle is also home to the National War Museum, an extremely popular attraction in its own right. It has over 400,000 visitors a year. Over 400 years of Scottish military history are covered here. The museum is full of unique exhibits that paint a fascinating picture of Scotland's heroic past. Just a minute's walk from the castle, you'll find Gladstone's Land. It's a National Trust of Scotland attraction built all the way back in 1620. Visitors to this fascinating tenement can experience what it was like to live in Edinburgh's Old Town 400 years ago. At the top of the Royal Mile, just a stone's throw from the castle, you'll find the Scotch Whisky Experience. This is just the place to explore the history of Scotland's most famous export. Visitors can look forward to films, tasters, and historic time-travelling whisky barrel ride. Opened in 1998, this extraordinary building is the National Museum of Scotland. It's just a short way from the Royal Mile, and over 800,000 people walk through its doors every year. Inside, there are all kinds of exhibits aimed to enhance your knowledge of Scottish history. But the museum isn't just limited to Scottish artefacts. There's a large variety of other things to see from all over the world. And if you're an admirer of sculpture, then you'll be fascinated by the work of Edoardo Pelosi and Andy Goldsworthy, who are also displayed here. A little further down the Royal Mile, you'll come across the fabulous Museum of Childhood. Opened in 1955, it was the first museum in the world dedicated to childhood. Perfect for a family day out, the museum is a treasure chest full of past and present toys and games. Just over the road from the Museum of Childhood is the Scottish Storytelling Centre. It's the world's first purpose-built storytelling centre and Edinburgh's newest tourist attraction. In this beautiful new building, you can find out about Scotland's finest fiction writers like Robert Louis Stevenson and J.M. Barrie.
They were the trainers that when you walk,
The bottom of the Royal Mile leads us into the Holyrood area of Edinburgh, which is home to various tourist attractions like Holyrood Palace, the Scottish Parliament buildings and our dynamic Earth. Also here is the truly remarkable Holyrood Park, where you'll find Arthur's Seat, the highest peak of the hills overlooking Edinburgh. Mythically named after King Arthur, the seat has truly commanding views of the city and surrounding areas. This is Holyrood Palace, the official state residence of Her Majesty the Queen when she's here in Scotland. Built in the 15th century, the palace was once home to Mary Queen of Scots. But that was a very long time ago, and now visitors can visit the palace and enjoy tours of the superb grounds. Well, when Her Majesty's not here, of course. At the foot of the Royal Mile here in Holyrood, you'll find a truly striking sight. This is the Scottish Parliament building. Finished in 2004, the construction of the Parliament was an extremely controversial process. Views on the building are still decidedly mixed, but whether you love it or hate it, one thing is for certain, it's here to stay. So why not take a guided tour and make up your own mind? And just across the road from the Parliament buildings, you'll find a truly unique attraction. Our Dynamic Earth is an audacious project that attempts to chart the entire history of the Earth, and the crazy thing is, it works. Using state-of-the-art technologies and innovative exhibitions, visitors are taken on a journey through time. Starting with the Big Bang, you'll move through time at an incredible speed. The experience includes simulations of earthquakes, volcanoes and even ice ages. Our Dynamic Earth is the most exciting way yet to explore our planet's history. Edinburgh is renowned for its commitment to art and culture. In addition to the contemporary art forms like the Fringe Festival, there's also a number of world-class galleries. Linking the Old Town to the New Town is the mound upon which we find the National Gallery of Scotland. Wandering through the gallery, one can't help being overwhelmed. The quality of building itself rivals the magnificent artwork you're here to see. It's home to many memorable pieces, including work by Monet, Gauguin, Rembrandt, Cézanne and even Raphael. That's so vivid, isn't it, that one
Yeah,
there?
it's like an actual photograph when you look at
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're far away as well. It's so vivid
it.
with
See the thing?
the tartan in there.
That's the Goya in the corner, the one with the doctor.
Uh-huh.
That's very famous. And that's a painting.
Surprisingly, this is only one of the superb galleries here in Edinburgh, so I'm going to go see another. This is the Scottish National Portrait Gallery, and here you'll find a unique visual history of the country. It's pretty impressive. This building is amazing. All of the famous Scottish faces are here. Kings, queens, philosophers. It's a who's who of Scotland's past. At number 7 Charlotte Square, you'll find a masterpiece of urban architecture. This is the Georgian House, one of Edinburgh's leading tourist attractions. The house has been standing here for over 200 years. Visitors can explore the marvellous history of the building and view its truly unique contents and furnishings. Three miles west of Edinburgh city centre, you'll find the outstanding Murrayfield Stadium. It's the biggest stadium in Scotland and home to the Scottish Rugby Union. It's a truly remarkable place to visit. Could there be a better way of seeing the glorious Scottish countryside than this? From the window of one of the most famous trains in history, the Royal Scotsman. Travelling on the Scotsman is an unparalleled experience that balances luxurious living with Scotland's natural beauty. Just 30 minutes from Edinburgh, overlooking the sandy beaches of East Lothian, you'll find the Scottish Seabird Centre. Apparently, that means you are my mate, let's be friends. The centre strategically placed cameras outside so you can see the birds without disturbing them. You can get really close in on the details, you can zoom in and out. Oh, and then you can turn it up and down. Oh, I think I've had a puffin. This 5-star award-winning attraction is an inspired way to get back in touch with nature. Also here in the Lothians, you'll find the National Museum of Flight. It's one of Scotland's most popular attractions with over 100,000 visitors every year. Aviation enthusiasts will simply love this place. Here there's 4 hangars dedicated to aircraft heritage. The exhibitions chart the history of both military and commercial flight. There's a rich variety of aircraft on display. Visitors can participate in the Concorde experience, which tells you all about the history of Concorde and provides you with a tour around an original craft. We've seen great views, famous castles, and even travelled through time. We've tasted some of the area's most famous food. And as ever, we've found you some of the best places to eat, visit and stay in Edinburgh and the Lothians. And remember, if you fancy a weekend away, just log on to our website and enter our competition to win a fantastic short break holiday. We've had a great time exploring Edinburgh and the Lothians, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. This is definitely a brilliant holiday location. There's so much to take in. I really liked the castle. That is one amazing sight. And then of course you've got the museums, the theatre, fantastic shopping. I for one will definitely be coming back. And if you've been tempted by Edinburgh, then you can find full details of all of the places we've visited and re-watch the show on our website, which is britain'sbestbreaks.tv. We'll be seeing you again soon to help you plan another relaxing break, but until then, remember, on Britain's Best Breaks, the choice is yours. Bye-bye.